വേഗത്തിലൊന്ന് ഇറങ്ങി കൊടുക്കുക. സ്പീഡാക്കാം. ഇത്രയും ഞങ്ങളുമായി സഹകരിച്ച എല്ലാ മാന്യ ഫുട്ബോൾ പ്രേമികൾക്കും ഹൃദയം നിറഞ്ഞ നന്ദി അറിയിക്കുന്നു. വേഗത്തിൽ നടപടി സ്പീഡാക്കി. ഗ്യാലറിയിരിക്കുന്നവർ ഒന്നുകൂടി ശ്രദ്ധിക്കണം. ദയവ് ചെയ്ത് ആ ഗ്യാപ്പുകളൊക്കെ അടച്ചുകൊണ്ട് വളരെ ഒന്ന് രണ്ട് ആളുകൾ ഈ ഓഡിറ്റോറിയത്തിലേക്ക് വരണമെന്ന് അറിയിക്കുന്നു. വളണ്ടിയർമാർ ദയവ് ചെയ്ത് വഴിയിലേക്ക് പോകാനുള്ള സൗകര്യം കൊടുക്കണം. ദയവ് ചെയ്ത് ഒന്ന് സ്പീഡ് ഇറങ്ങിക്കൊണ്ട് ഒരുപാട് ആൾ അകത്തേക്ക് പ്രവേശിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി കാത്തിരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. ഗാലറിയിൽ ഇനിയും ഒരുപാട് ഒഴിവുകൾ കണ്ടുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. ഒന്ന് പരമാവധി നിങ്ങളുടെ അടുത്തുള്ള ഗ്യാപ്പുകളൊക്കെ അടച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ദയവിലേക്ക് സഹകരിക്കണമെന്ന് അറിയിക്കുകയാണ്. ഒന്ന് സ്പീഡിൽ നിന്ന് ഇറങ്ങി നോക്കി. എത്രയും പെട്ടെന്ന് ഈ ഓഡിറ്റോറിയത്തിൽ നിന്ന് പുറത്തേക്ക് പോകുന്ന ആളുകളെ എത്രയും പെട്ടെന്ന് ഇറങ്ങി കൊടുക്കണമെന്ന് അറിയിക്കുന്നു. മുന്നിൽ ഇരുന്ന് കളി കാണാൻ താല്പര്യമുള്ള എല്ലാ മാന്യ ഫുട്ബോൾ പ്രേമികൾക്കും മുന്നിൽ ഇരുന്ന് കളി കാണാവുന്നതാണ്. ഒരിക്കലും കസേരകൾ റിസർവ് ചെയ്ത് വെക്കരുത്. ആദ്യം വരുന്ന ആളുകൾക്ക് കസേരകൾ നൽകിക്കൊണ്ട് സഹകരിക്കണമെന്ന് അറിയിക്കുകയാണ്. ഒരിക്കലും കസേരകൾ റിസർവ് ചെയ്ത് വെക്കരുത്. മാന്യ ഫുട്ബോൾ പ്രേമികൾ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. ഈ ഗാലറിയിൽ ഒരുപാട് ഗ്യാപ്പുകൾ പിന്നീട് കാണുന്നുണ്ട്. ദയവ് ചെയ്ത് അടുത്തിരുന്നുകൊണ്ട് ഇതിൽ കൂടുതൽ ആളുകൾ പുറത്ത് കാത്തിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ഒരു കാരണവശാലും കമ്മിറ്റി മെമ്പർമാരല്ലാത്ത ആളുകൾക്ക് ഈ ബോക്സിനകത്തേക്ക് പ്രവേശനമില്ല. ദയവ് ചെയ്ത് സഹകരിക്കുക. താഴെ നിൽക്കുന്ന ആളുകൾക്ക് മുകളിൽ ഗാലറിയുടെ മുകളിൽ ഗ്യാപ്പുകൾ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ കയറിയിരിക്കാവുന്നതാണ്. കസേരകൾ റിസർവ് ചെയ്ത് വെക്കരുത്. ആദ്യം വരുന്ന ആളുകൾക്ക് കസേരകൾ നൽകിക്കൊണ്ട് സഹകരിക്കണമെന്ന് അറിയിക്കുകയാണ്. മുന്നിൽ ഇരുന്ന് കളി കാണാൻ താല്പര്യമുള്ള ആളുകൾക്ക് മുന്നിൽ വന്ന് കളി കാണാവുന്നതാണ്. മാന്യ ഫുട്ബോൾ പ്രേമികൾ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കണം. ദയവ് ചെയ്ത് ഒരിക്കലും കസേരകൾ റിസർവ് ചെയ്ത് വെക്കരുത്. ആദ്യം വരുന്ന ആളുകൾക്ക് കസേരകൾ നൽകിക്കൊണ്ട് പരമാവധി സഹകരിക്കണമെന്ന് അറിയിക്കുന്നു. മുന്നിൽ ഇരുന്ന് കളി കാണാൻ താല്പര്യമുള്ള ഫുട്ബോൾ പ്രേമികൾക്ക് ഈ കസേരയുടെ മുന്നിൽ ഇരുന്ന് കളി കാണാവുന്നതാണ്. ദയവ് ചെയ്ത് ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. മുന്നിൽ ഇരുന്ന് കളി കാണാൻ താല്പര്യമുള്ള ആളുകൾ കുട്ടികൾക്ക് കടന്നു വരാം. കുട്ടികളുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ കടന്നു വരാം. ആ ഗാലറിയിൽ ഒരുപാട് ഗ്യാപ്പുണ്ട്. ഈ വലതുവശത്ത് ഈ എൻട്രൻസിൽ സെന്റർ ഒഴിവുണ്ട്. അതേപോലെ അവിടേക്ക് കുറച്ച് ആളുകൾ കയറിയിരിക്കണം. കുറച്ചുകൂടി ആളുകൾ അവിടെ കയറിയിരിക്കുക. അത് താഴേക്കുന്ന ആളുകൾ മുകളിലേക്ക് കയറിയിരിക്കണം. പ്ലീസ് താഴേക്കുന്ന ആളുകളൊന്ന് മുകളിലേക്ക് കയറിയിരിക്കുന്നവർ സഹകരിക്കണം. ദയവ് ചെയ്ത് അവിടെ വഴിയില്ല. നിങ്ങളൊക്കെ ആ താഴേക്കുന്ന ആളുകൾ മുകളിലേക്ക് കയറി. അതിന് മുകളിൽ സ്ഥലമുണ്ട്. മുന്നിൽ ഇന്ന് കളി കാണാൻ താല്പര്യമുള്ള ആളുകൾക്ക് മുന്നിലേക്ക് വരാവുന്നതാണ്. ആ ഗ്യാപ്പ് നൽകുക. ആ ഗാലറി വളരെയധികം ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. ഒരു നാലാൾക്കുള്ള ഗ്യാപ്പ് അങ്ങനെ കൊള്ളേക്ക് ഒരു വഴിയിൽ കൊള്ള കിട്ടിയ അതുകൊണ്ട് അവിടെ കിട്ടിയ അവിടെ രണ്ടാൾ കയറ്റി. ദയവ് ചെയ്ത് ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. 24 മണിക്കൂറായി ജോലി സഹകരിക്കും. ഈ ഓഡിറ്റോറിയത്തിന് 2 വർഷത്തേക്ക് ഈ ബോക്സിലേക്ക് കമ്മിറ്റി ആളുകളല്ലാത്ത ഒരാളെ പ്രവേശിപ്പിക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ? കമ്മിറ്റി ആളുകൾ ഈ വഴിയിൽ നിൽക്കുന്ന ആളുകള് ഒരു ദിവസത്തിന് ഇടതുവശത്തേക്ക് ഒന്ന് ആ വഴി ഒന്ന് വിട്ടുകൊടുക്കുക. മുന്നിൽ കസരട്ടിരിക്കുന്ന ആളുകൾ ഒന്ന് കുറച്ചൊരു വഴിയാക്കി കൊടുക്കണം. ദയവീത് സഹകരിക്കുക. ആ മുന്നിൽ കസരട്ടിരിക്കുന്ന ആളുകൾ ഒന്ന് പിന്നോട്ട് കുറച്ച് വഴി ഒഴിവാക്കി കൊടുക്കണം. ഇടതുവശത്തേക്ക് പോകണം. ഒരു ലോകത്തിന് പരമാവധി അടുത്തിരുന്നുകൊണ്ട് സഹകരിക്കണമെന്ന് അറിയുകയാണ്. ഈ വഴിയിൽ നിൽക്കുന്ന ആളുകൾ ഈ ഓഡിറ്റോറിയത്തിന്റെ ഇടതുവശത്തേക്ക് മാറി നിൽക്കണമെന്ന് അറിയിക്കുകയാണ്. കുറച്ച് ആളുകൾ കൂടി മുന്നിൽ ഇരുന്ന് കളി കാണാവുന്നതാണ്. ഓഡിറ്റോറിയത്തിന്റെ മധ്യഭാഗത്ത് ആളുകളെ നിർത്തരുതെന്ന് അറിയിക്കുകയാണ്. കസേരകൾ അടുപ്പിച്ചിട്ടുകൊണ്ട് വഴിയില്ലാത്ത രൂപത്തിൽ മാറ്റി പിന്നിൽ നിൽക്കുന്നവരെ മുന്നിലേക്ക് കടത്തിക്കൊണ്ടിരുന്നെന്ന് അറിയിക്കുകയാണ്. ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. ആരെങ്കിലും മുന്നിൽ ഇരുന്ന് കളി കാണാൻ താല്പര്യമുള്ള ആളുകളുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ മുന്നോട്ട് വന്ന് കളി കാണാവുന്നതാണ്. ഇവിടെ ഇരുന്ന് കളി കാണാനുള്ള സൗകര്യമുണ്ട്. എല്ലാ മാന്യ ഫുട്ബോൾ ക്ലബുകളും ഫാസയുടെ 50 രൂപ ബമ്പർ പ്രൈസ് സൂപ്പർ വാങ്ങി കമ്മിറ്റിയുമായി സഹകരിക്കണമെന്ന് അറിയിക്കുന്നു. ഒരു വലിയ തുക ചിലവാക്കി നടത്തുന്ന ഈ പരിപാടിയിലേക്ക് നിങ്ങളുടെ സഹകരിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി നിങ്ങളുടെ 50 രൂപ ബമ്പർ പ്രൈസ് സൂപ്പർ വാങ്ങി സഹകരിക്കുക. വഴിയിലേക്ക് ആളുകൾ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. വളരെയേറെ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. ആളുകൾ ഇടതുവശത്തേക്ക് മാറണം. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പിന്നോട്ട് നിൽക്കുക. ഗാലറിയിലെ ഒഴിവുകളുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഗാലറിയിൽ സഹകരിച്ച് പരമാവധി അടുപ്പിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ഫാസ്റ്റുമായി സഹകരിക്കണമെന്നായിരുന്നു. ഒരു വലിയ തുക ചിലവാക്കി നടത്തുന്ന ഈ പ്രോഗ്രാമിലേക്ക് നിങ്ങളുടെ സഹകരണം വേണം. അതിനായി ഞങ്ങളുടെ 50 രൂപ വളരെ സൂപ്പർവായി ഫാസ്റ്റുമായി സഹകരിക്കുന്നതായിരിക്കുന്നു. അനീഷ് ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. ഫാസ്റ്റ് എക്സിക്യൂട്ടീവ് മെമ്പർ അനീഷ് കുമാർ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. കേരള വഴിയിൽ നിൽക്കുന്ന ആളുകൾ മുന്നിൽ ഇരുന്ന് കളിയാൻ സൗകര്യമുണ്ട്. കുറച്ച് ആളുകൾക്ക് കൂടി മുന്നിൽ ഇരുന്ന് കളി കാണാവുന്നതാണ്. ഈ ഗാലറിയുടെ ഇടതുവശത്ത് രണ്ടാമത്തെ ലൈൻ ഒന്ന് കയറിയിരിക്കുക. ആ ഒന്ന് മുകളിൽ കയറിയിരിക്കുക. അവിടെ 4-5 ആൾക്കിരിക്കാൻ കഴിയാതെ ഒന്ന് കയറിയിരിക്കുക. വളരെ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. ദയവ് ചെയ്ത ഇടതുവശത്തുള്ള ആളുകൾ അതന്നെ ഇവിടെ അടുത്ത ആൾ ഒരു 4 ആൾക്ക് കയറിയിരിക്കുക. 4 ആൾ കയറിയിരിക്കുക. ദയവ് ചെയ്ത് അടുത്ത ആളും നേരെ താഴെ ആളുകൾക്ക് ഒന്ന് കയറിയിരിക്കൊണ്ട് സഹകരിക്കും. മുകളിലേക്ക് ഈ ഗ്യാപ്പുണ്ട്. അവിടെ ഗ്യാപ്പാക്കി വെച്ച ഒരാൾക്ക് കയറി ഒന്ന് ഇരിക്കാൻ പോലും പറ്റില്ല. ഒന്നിനായിരം മുകളിൽ കയറി കളിച്ചു. മൂന്നാം നാലാം ഗ്യാപ്പാണ് വാശി പിടിക്കലി. ദയവീയത്തില് അതിന് ഒന്ന് വിളിച്ചത് ബോളിലേക്ക് മൂന്നാള് പ്ലീസ് ആ മൂന്നാളൊന്ന് ബോളിലേക്ക് കയറിക്കണം. Please.
Co-presented by Mahindra SUVs, co-powered by Black Dog Soda. Savor the pause.
Perfect. The price of the coffee desired from Mumbai to Yordania. Mahindra's electric SUV liners, coffee run trips, means you can do outstation trips to the cost of a coffee.
For generations, Argentina worships El Diego. Brought to you by broadcast sponsors at Sepak and United Sports. Covered the FIFA World Cup 2026, co-presented by Amerika Latin, powered by Black Dog Soda, Savory Balls.
Slightly not synchronized tonight. It's just waiting for a moment. And it's on it. Argentina, 3 times winners. They have 3 stars on the kit. And of course the holders trying to replicate the last thing to admit. Two separate rounds, winning 8, then lost only 3, enough to clear all the levels needed to play a part in the 2026 finals. And also hear their anthem in part of the music. The FIFA World Cup 2026.
നമ്മുടെ മുഖ്യാതിഥിയായി ഇവിടെ കളി കാണാൻ ചേർന്നത് ബ്ലാസ്റ്റേഴ്സ് താരം CKV. ഞങ്ങളുടെ മുഖ്യാതിഥിയായി ഇത് എത്തിച്ചേർന്നിരിക്കുന്നത് ബ്ലാസ്റ്റേഴ്സ് താരം CKV.
Second game of the tournament, he's in charge of Japan's quite recent 4-0 win over Tunisia in Group F. And Brown van Richard, who is from Belgium, who relieved his home country, finally got to find some form and they went over New Zealand yesterday. So John Singer pretty much their strongest lineup, but they made 2 alterations in attack there. According against this place from Mahmoud Al-Mahdi, and the experienced France-based Musa Al-Tamari gives way to a 22-year-old Saudi-based Ali Assaye. Argentina, of course, and their fans a disaster that is relatively close to home. Argentina don't see much value in that. And what you will notice if you've got good World Cup memories, Argentina playing in a plain blue shirt, as they did when Maradona punched in the hand of good goal 40 years ago in the quarter-final against England in Mexico City.
Argentina Forward again.
Algeria, and here it's Jordan and Argentina.
Yes, looking forward to this game, Martin, because I think Jordan will be really competitive. Really competitive. Guys are on the teamwork, everything that we discussed, the rest of the week. Make sure that they give a good account of themselves and they really want to give a lasting impression of an improving football nation. That's what Jamal said.
Never did. Single unit. Not this power.
Three out of four defenders are really stretched across that playing field, and Simeone already in a forward position, an advanced position.
That's Mandy. Seeing the figure. Had a few days to work on this system, and clearly would have decided once they got the 2 wins under their belt what policy they would have for this third game. We saw France stick to their first choice for theirs, and Norway, who played them, but the reserves out was just only has them for something here. It's a bit insulting to call out.
I think Jordan will want to stay really compact, particularly in the first 15, 20 minutes. So for Argentina, short passes in the middle of the traffic is then a big switch out into the wide areas. That's what you're looking for. Give someone a little bit of room to make something happen.
Senesi, who was a late call-up, and since he's been called up through his club from Bournemouth in England to Tottenham Hotspur, where he played alongside Pesta. Christian Romero, who was probably not fit to be considered tonight. He's with the team, this one come off the bus. So a few minutes under their belts in this competition, everyone wanting a touch and a feel of the ball for Argentina. They will surely dominate possession. But Jordan do have counter-attacking abilities. And if there is a turnover to soon those, well, there won't be one-way traffic.
So all those 3 central defenders and of course the wing-backs wide down the line as we speak. Just to the left of the picture, can't quite see it just yet, but no press towards Argentina. They're not going to rush them or force them into anything. They're just content. And I think that's wise early on to keep their shape, make sure that they are really compact.
It's Ezekiel Gracios who's putting on the right hand side. And Simeone ahead of him. And tried really to get him behind. That was a hopeful ball. Away by Aurela. A little bit of a crash from Jordan. And certainly he is clapping in the Jordanian style. He's Califico. Martinez.
Yeah, nice football, but it's always offside there. It's also tighter than you think. As soon as I saw it, I thought he was just offside, not he finished outside the ball.
Surrounding us also, who was in the World Cup 18 squad, as these fans will know, we very much forwarded to get out at the outset of a successful tournament 4 years ago, so he's got a real incentive to put his name more prominently in the pages of Argentina and World Cup history. This is on for Ali Olwan, who scored the goal against Austria, and is their predominant striker really. And forward was Alara. Now Roate. Addressed the media here yesterday on behalf of the Jordanian players.
I think we just saw there Jordan just trying to keep the ball at a little spell of possession. What I would say, obviously, the fact that they've lost their opening couple of games and they will be going home after this one, Martin, what that does afford them tonight is to be brave and be adventurous. Once they get into Argentina's half of the field, don't hold back. If there's a chance to take a strike, do it. Do it. There's nothing to fear with this one. So give a really good account of yourself, but be brave when you can.
Well, I do feel that they have, they're happy with what they've achieved. Certainly the Austria game, where I think 3-1 really flattered Austria. And, listening to the commentators on it, suggesting that. And of course, Algeria, we've watched a bit of that together, Andy, didn't we? And
Yes.
Algeria needed to dig very deep to certainly get around. So there's more to Jordan than just making up the numbers here.
Certainly.
So that's it. Paredes. Palacios working, trying to work on Simeone.
Good interception on rush down there. Pinching that off of Miko Paz.
On the left hand side, the FIFA General Secretary Matthias Grafstrom. And May again.
And I think Mario Kempes with him there, Martin, as well.
Mario Kempes for the uninitiated was the first, not number 10 for Jordan, but the first really great number 10 for Argentina, World Cup 1978. They triumphed in their own country. And he was succeeded by Diego Maradona, who was succeeded by Lionel Messi It tends to be very special in the South American country. Well, Messi didn't start, I think he started with number 19 when he first played for Argentina. We've seen him on the two shirts, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Number 19.
With fans coming in.
Yeah, which is Messi's name above the number. I just thought they might have run out of zeros. No. Should be early in this week played in midfield.
Martin, sorry, down his left-hand side, he's the one. Bottom left of the screen now, he's the one that's going to be the outball, I think, for Argentina.
Right, really proves your point. He's cut out by Haddad, right wing back. Julian Alvarez was part of that surge by Argentina after losing their opening game in 2022. He and Fernandez. This is the pass that got brought into the team. Well, he sometimes says himself, people think it's nepotism that I'm in both of the Atletico team and this Argentina team. It's not. I think we're just in one recent one.
Yeah, really positive run from Simeone. And he will be pushing really high on the right. When he gets the ball, he does like to be direct with it, running at people at pace, as he showed there.
Martinez, number 22, hoping that a chance comes his way. Fine player, he's been in the shadows in terms of goals in World Cups. He might be a flick on his way from Otamendi. He's more than useful in the air. He's not the tallest, he's got a lovely spring.
He gets a couple of yards because they're working a little block around the penalty spot there, Otamendi, but really doesn't need to go for goal there with that one. Just glance that one, flick it back into that 6-yard box area.
So we'll sit in again. And it was as often with these semi-automatic VARs, they prove it's much closer than the naked eye suggests. And great finish by the so it wasted any time to find out whether there was a flag going up or not, but eventually it went up. Palacios has a Bayern Leverkusen in the Bundesliga. FIFA. 5 goals they scored in the World Cup, Argentina, all scored by one of their substitutes tonight.
Yeah, I think Julian Alvarez and Lautaro Martinez tonight would like some opportunities to register and get out running with a goal. And like Martin, what the coach said in the press conference, that they do need other avenues to score for them. And those two up front will really want a chance or two to come their way.
So would like a greater share of possession than that. But at the moment, what they can say is they've got through almost the first quarter now without conceding. I know it's been a disallowed goal, but they held the line well enough for it to be disallowed.
Yeah, as of so far, they've been stretched with Jordan, have they? They haven't been pulled out of position. I mentioned about their team shape and their structure has got to be absolutely spot on. So far, so good.
Otamendi, Paredes, who has had plenty of experience, probably more than some of the others. lining up alongside him tonight. It's his 79th cap. Possession for the holders. They're stretching their resources tonight. Give me encouragement. Obviously, fitness is important. Match sharpness, you only get it by playing matches for the backup players. There will be a surely in their minds, if I do really well here, I can get in the team. It's one of the first 2 matches. Keep the shirt. Sorry, Martinez just taking that into the corner. Is that Cambiasso at the front there?
Certainly was.
Do you know, I remember he scored one of the great World Cup games. It's not just me, I had to be there when they beat, I think it was Serbia and Montenegro played as a group with the 2 nations in that World Cup in 2006. It was about 25 passes. And I think it was Aaron Crespo, and people will remember as well, to Cambiasso and have the honour of scoring the goal. If you haven't seen it, find it. And watch it again and again. It's beautiful. We had a beautiful goal here the other night. Japan. He's cross there, and there's Sevilla Power. It's a minute, and Amerika, I think.
Well, he's got the ball out his arm here. He just might bring the momentum before it's through. It just gets away from him there. Does he get the ball? I think that's unlucky, Martin. I do it all. Often when you're stretching, you're reaching for the ball, you do sometimes run the risk of catching your opponent, but you only had eyes for the ball. However, it's the first real opportunity this for Argentina.
This one's on the edge, and that's clearly the right decision. The Celso player who did feel the boot in the end after the ball was played. And this, of course, is very good looking at Messi. Messi is like us looking at it. And Celso has the left foot. That's your cry. Julian Alvarez, if he sees another option, is looking at the ball close quarters as well. Celso has already had a goal disallowed.
And look at Lionel before, that little can jump to make it even more difficult to get it over the top and under the bar.
Alvarez has walked away. So it's left to the left foot of Lo Celso.
disallowed, but that was a wonderful strike. So a little harsher free kick, I felt.
There goes Lautaro Martinez. Well, it's Sean scored from Argentina reserves, but you know what we mean. They're desperate to get into Scaloni's plans on a more regular basis, and not just when it's a game 3, which to some extent is a dead rubber. And wherever the Argentinian fans have come from, we stress they're not certainly from Argentina. They are in fine voice and they've been wonderful around the area, and they seem to have been here much longer than the team.
Yeah, in such colossal numbers as well, has to be said.
Oh, and another Manu Gino Billy. There's a NBA star who was here for the game the other night, saw Messi's wonderful solo show. Well, he's from Argentina as a basketball player, but we've seen a lot of Americans from their sports joining in the occasion, adding to the fan spectrum, really, and that's terrific to see. And we know that a lot of footballers love the American sports, don't we? So whenever the NFL comes to Tottenham Hotspur and places like that in England, and the English footballers are out in force to support it. Basketball as well. Even baseball, we've had some of that.
I think from a Jordan point of view, the game plan doesn't change. Nothing changes. Yes, they've gone 1 down. What they mustn't start doing is feeling like they've got to try and force the issue to get back in the game, Martin, otherwise they'll get picked up again.
Well, you can hear the acoustics in the stadium are very good, emphasise the emotion, and I'm afraid the emotion from the hydration break is thumbs down. It is part of this World Cup, and give ourselves maybe a chance to explain exactly how he hits it.
Something should be said.
Here, to life, from the city, high rocks. What happens when the game changes? You keep moving. You keep staying. Keep celebrating. And they keep looking in the long. Because no matter how far you've come, you keep walking.
Shades of love to choose from. P6, my Bola series.
Something should be said.
Instructions from Scaloni. I'm ready to go again. I want to put the foot down hard. Drive on in the second half of the second half, the first half. So you see there's a free kick for that movement. Jordan. I talk about footballers wanting to meet American sports stars, yeah. And the other one was a guitar, and I know you play guitar, I think. From Chris Martin of Coldplay.
Right, okay.
Leon is good lady, happy to see Coldplay concert. They're big fans.
Well, if you ask nicely, Martin, you might just...
As I say, it was a nice setup to look at the other things as well. They were the main ones. Once you get the manager, seemingly has everything. I'll tell you what you really like, the guarantee of 10 more years of the football industry playing at this level. It was a nice shape to the team that he's put together with his coaching staff. There is never such a thing as an Argentina game that they soft-play in. As I saw again, trying to create this win in an area where Simeone is trying to play another pass rather than go for goal himself.
Yeah, or fire it across the 6-yard box there. But really nice play. And again, I think what we've just started to see now is the current world champions playing a bit more one-touch and playing a little bit quicker. And that's when it becomes particularly difficult for Jordan to handle that.
That's an outswinging corner. Here's Alifico. Both teams select to score. Martinez is frustrated again. This was the first effort.
Yeah. So much room. Alifico fires in. I wondered if he was offside. From that angle, it's tight. And that little flick, and then all of a sudden Alvarez throws himself out and it just rattles off the crossbar. Budaya certainly doesn't do anything with that one, but from that's a good stop.
For the Alvarez.
Possibly penalty check.
Yeah, Misa Alvarez was the encouraged by Budaya associate. It's It certainly was an attempt to play the ball, but
when the ball's bouncing around in the 6-yard box, you just do anything to get something on it. Alvarez was great there, the way he threw himself, hurled himself into it to try and get his first goal of the tournament.
The protest by Esan Hattad. There's the captain, and he's being ushered away. He's feeling the worst as they are on that Jordan bench.
It's a bit late getting there, isn't it, unfortunately? It's a real knock in the face.
It's a foul anywhere else.
It is. I think it's going to be giving this one, Martin. I don't think there's any doubt.
Well, the question is who's going to take the penalty, of course. And they've had a penalty in this stadium already, which Lionel Messi missed. There's the signal. Penalties in his midfield.
lovely strike.
Yeah, two in the same corner, one in the top, one in the bottom, and Argentina really drawn by 2 goals tonight. And as you're seeing it out, up on their feet to show their appreciation. So just over half an hour gone. Don't see many diving headers. That was as it came back off the frame of the goal rather than diving in for a cross. You can see why the defender went for the ball, but just those margins and of course with the air around, you're not going to get away with it.
Oh no, when Paul's bouncing around, as I mentioned, you were able to just instinct to try and get something on it.
And Austria have taken the lead against Algeria. And Marko Arnautovic, he's 37 now, has scored against Jordan. And it was Owen who scored against Austria, so they're heading for second place. It's bad news for Algeria because if it stays like this then they will go out and Iran will step back up into the qualifiers. Assuming that the thrilling nature of the finishing their game against Egypt might have some merit to it. Certainly you were watching.
Yeah. That was some real finish to that game.
Melawan. Counter-attack on here, and that will be a goal kick. Well, it was always going to be tough. 1-0, anything is possible. 2-0, nature of it, but sometimes that can free the shackles, and why not go and play and make the most of the hour or so that's left in the World Cup for Jordan. The first World Cup. 48 nation system. And I know some newbies are on there. I haven't learned not to play out from the back against teams that are better than them.
I think that's where they have to be most careful this evening now. 2 down, just trying to overplay, just trying to keep it 40 yards from their own goals. If they lose it there, then Argentina, as we can see, are in the mood to add to the couple that they now have. That's a poor ball.
Ball by Paredes. And a shot from Alpha Curry. And that's to the way to Aliola. Will be taken by Ali Azizi. Balls into the team, and a bit more youth and hopefully firepower up front. Quite deep enough. A much needed block.
There's no tell the walks onto that one. That's exactly how you want them, Martin, when they come rolling out towards you.
He was the player, of course, who gave away the penalty. Or gave away the free kick rather, that led to the first goal. And the free kick and the penalty is a real punishment, really. Trying very hard to batten down all the hatches. Curry, Argentina trying to break it out, find themselves a little light at the back here, and shouting for handball against the Sosa, I think. And the referee says foul. Simeone.
Yeah, 2 or 3 hands went straight up in the air.
Never close enough to have a genuine opinion. shoot, he's checking it. He was in the area. Here's Messi. Actually, we shouldn't be surprised coming from where we come from. I did see Messi in the penalty area. Pops up with goals in club football. Real true. Here's Haddad.
Where's that incident, Martin? Oh, that's the Lautaro Martinez with that ball come across there, he then flicks and eventually comes back off the crossbar, so now he puts his head in to draw the penalty.
Yeah, otherwise it would have been on offside, then penalty wouldn't have been called.
Correct.
Still over-elaborating a little bit. Also the self-serve, wasn't it, coming across upper arm, yeah, his shoulder maybe.
It's above the sleeve, that Martin. I don't know, was it his elbow? Was it left forward? I'm not sure.
His upper arm into the ball, isn't he? I can understand those appeals. Forward. More spirit for that Jordan now.
They're best player in the game since they've gone 2 down. They've actually been really positive in this last 6 or 7 minutes in particular. They're getting in and around Argentina and they're pitching the ball off of them and whipping a few crosses in. That's exactly what is required now.
That's it. That was their first touch, I think, in the Argentina penalty area, and it's straight in the head of Asia. Here's Otamendi. See Benfica going back to play for Europe. European Argentinians tend to want to go home to finish their careers. Walk out to Miami, of course. So, the passer is a clever player. His English was about his play. He's the son of a former World Cup player for Argentina, Pablo Paz, 98. Playing again, I believe, with Simeone's father in that World Cup as well. Paredes. Simeone. Back into the shape they had for most of the first half an hour. Little untidy. So 5 minutes to go to half time. This somewhat second string Argentina team still delighting the fans as they can see clearly. If you can't see it on the pitch, it's magnificent. Across the huge show in any sports arena. So that's another look. Looking at some play here. With mission 2 from Alara.
Yeah, that's much better. Squeeze in and push in and want to turn the ball over in Argentina's half of the field. That way you get the chance to either get it wide and cross it, or maybe take a shot and have a go. But it's a better mindset completely. Often is the case, you know, 0-0 against a superior opponent. You bank up, you sit there, you try and prostrate, and then all of a sudden when the game really has got away from you, you relax a little bit more and think a bit more positively.
There's Nico Paz, stretching those long legs. He really wants to be goalkeeper to come. He was reluctant to do so. In the news today, Nico Paz is probably to his club contract. And all known to Madrid at Como, who've done so well in the Sepak in Italy. He was hoping to be able to say that they lost too much money around to make the deal permanent. Como said, no, we can't afford it, 60 million euros, I think. He's going to have to go back to his parent club and maybe be signed by someone else. I'm sure that's not worrying him too much in playing the World Cup, but it is the kind of thing that players have to deal with at this time of year, correct?
The referee might be amongst the action there.
It's the first time you've liked the referee, haven't you? It's stood away by Tagliafico to Al-Rashdan, who scored against Algeria. And they all ran got their goal against Austria. I'd like to get a goal in each game, wouldn't they? That would be something. I'd take back home to the Middle East quickly. Goal one by Nico Paz, Simeone. Trying to collect Julian Alvarez. Martinez. Interesting, they didn't change the goalkeeper. The two Martinez ran the back one up front. They took the places.
I wonder why in second period whether we'll see Messi. What do you think?
Well, if it was his shout totally, and you were going to say, I'm surprised that it isn't fact. But I'm sure he does take production, if you like, of Hussein Alvarez to the management. I'm sure he wouldn't want to come out and play it. It's his life to ball at his feet. And of course, I wanted to hovering around him.
Yes, exactly.
Elm boot.
One of the top strikers in this competition. We're all right amongst the goals.
Lionel run. Still going. It's an area where Argentina restored a little bit of order without moving the ball back. As an AFC. Might just be a bit too strong. The 1-2 runners have been good when they've shown they can play.
This is how it all started. That beautifully shot free kick into the right of the Celso. And then this penalty, which was positively struck, wasn't it? Lautaro Martinez.
So Messi's only 5 goals out of 7 now for Argentina in the World Cup. Only 5. 5 minutes on the board. Understand when Argentina or the club Messi playing all the time, travel around the world, fans just expect to see him play all the time. That's a great strain on his body. Nico Paz was extraordinarily gifted physically as well as with football. Alvarez. 42 hurried at the end. He doesn't rush in, it's kind of ball and it's headed. Brilliant. By Simeone. before half time. One back before half time.
That's amazing. He was under pressure there from Arias, but he just did that, got his body in to protect it and deal with the situation really well.
I think Bulgaria has equalised for Algeria. They both go through if it stays like that. Ooh. We heard that with an Algerian match before. It's Germany and Austria, wasn't it, in 1982, and Algeria all the way into that. On the right end of it, Lautaro Martinez. Changed always while we were having simultaneous games out there, wasn't that what happened in 82?
Correct. Got to be playing the last games of the groups at the same time.
Germany and Austria agreed at 1-0 for Germany, and Switzerland both not good. Let's give it to them and FIFA acted properly.
Good close control, isn't it? It's what he does, so it invites pressure and challenges, and around there getting really close to him, too close, conceding the free kick, but he's that sort of player.
They lose because the Algeria goals have been shown on the big screen here. Last action really of this first half. And it was really something to put in the calendar of World Cup goals. Sotamendi would be right up there amongst the older scorers.
He might have been offside anyway, Martin, but sort of far too much room. You can't just stand on the edge of the box short in there. They've got to try and disturb the run. Otamendi peels far post, meets it beautifully. Hits it really firmly.
Really annoyed because you won't expect to score from that. He's scored so many goals for Tottenham across all over Europe, including Manchester City, of course, for a while. And forward by the help. That's it back again. Back again. Lautaro Martinez trying to use the right maximum of this first half. Good stop from Julian Alvarez by the goalkeeper and Budaya. I think they should have got a corner. And then goes on, and Jordan not waiting for the questions to be asked. Russia. And again, to Hazard. And right with the back three in the seat, to the man in the middle. And there is Alara. Behind here. Let's go up.
Sankura നൽകുന്ന സ്മാർട്ട് വാച്ചിന്റെ ഇന്നത്തെ വിജയിയെ തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കുന്നു കസബ എസ്ഐ നിധി. സാൻകുലോ നൽകുന്ന സ്മാർട്ട് വാച്ചിന്റെ ഇന്നത്തെ വിജയിയെ തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കുന്നു കസബ എസ്ഐ നിധി. സാൻകുലോ നൽകുന്ന സ്മാർട്ട് വാച്ചിന്റെ വിജയിയെ തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കുന്നു കസബ എസ്ഐ നിധി. എസ് ഐ സാർ അർജന്റീന ഫാനാണ് കേട്ടോ. ഉള്ളിൽ ജേഴ്സി കാണുന്നുണ്ട്. ഒരു നല്ല കൈ. ഇന്നത്തെ വിജയിയുടെ നമ്പർ 2233. ഇന്നത്തെ വിജയിയുടെ നമ്പർ 2233. ഇന്നത്തെ സ്മാർട്ട് വാച്ച് വിജയിയുടെ കൂപ്പൺ നമ്പർ 2233. ഇന്നത്തെ വിജയ് ഇവിടെ നിലയുണ്ട്. അദ്ദേഹത്തിനുള്ള സമ്മാനം നൽകുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി സാറിനെ ക്ഷണിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ഇന്നത്തെ വിജയ് ഇവിടെ ഓഡിറ്റോറിയത്തിലുണ്ട്. സമ്മാനം നൽകുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി കസബ SI ദിലീപ് സാറിനെ ക്ഷണിച്ചുകൊള്ളുന്നു. ദയവീത് വിജയ് വേദിയിലേക്ക് വരണമെന്ന് അറിയിക്കുന്നു. ഇന്നത്തെ വിജയിക്ക് സമ്മാനം നൽകുന്നു കസബ SI ദിലീപ്. ഒരു കൈ.
Changed the entire outfield except for one player coming into this game. And Roberto Martinez already got his able to score. Before that, it was Yordania, so the defending champions leading 2-0 against Jordan. Still haven't been able to pick up a single point in this edition of the FIFA World Cup. And that is how it stands in Dallas. Jordan nil, Argentina 2. Like we said, it's the players that needed to come to the fore that have done the business so far. Let's also revisit the other match that's simultaneously happening in Kansas of Group J, where Algeria and Austria are currently joined. This is the stat at halftime. It's 1-1. There are repercussions to this, not just for the teams in action, but also for the other teams that are waiting on the sidelines, waiting to find out their fate and their destiny, because it lies in the hands of these two teams in action right now in Kansas. That is how exciting everything is currently at the FIFA World Cup. We're bringing it to you live on Z5 and United Sports. Let's get the opinions of our experts. Obviously, Al-Darasani plays first. Argentina, they rested 9 of their first 11 players. And then we expected Lautaro Martinez to step up today. He did eventually, but it almost feels as if Jordan weren't much of a test anyway for them.
It's 2 goals from 2 set plays. Let's be honest, the goalkeepers had an absolute nightmare for the first one, and the second one's a penalty. But, I mean, let's be honest, Argentina dictated, they've controlled the game totally. And again, this is the golfing class of like the reigning world champions against one of the probably the least expected countries to qualify the way that they did Jordan. So it was very, very tough for them. It was always going to be a top 18, and that's what it's proved. Is it's proved Argentina have an absolute solid bench as well. Because I mean, when we see the stats, you'll see them keeping the ball, you'll see the passes, you'll see the chances, the opportunities. Any of these boys against men, let's be honest.
What about the midfield? Argentina, you said it was the perfect time to get some fresh legs in, get some players more international caps. And now there's a big headache for the coach going further because these players are also stepping up.
No, like I said, I mean, they are a strong side. Their second string side are super strong, and we saw that. I mean, they're keeping the ball, they're moving forward, they have the majority of the ball possession. Jordan, nowhere near Argentina's 18-yard box. But I mean, it's pure domination. The second string side playing against one, it is absolute domination. But going forward, I don't think the coach is going to make too many changes. But these players now, they are getting a match sharpness that will be needed going forward. Although Martinez, a strong performance up front as well.
Alright, please let's leave it with that opening goal for Argentina in the 19th.
The goalkeeper on Nonton,
Yeah.
let me tell you, the keeper's an absolute nightmare here. He's still like, what's he going to run behind the wall for? I mean, I'm not being funny. You're always there to protect that side of the ball. What he's saying, 3 steps. Then, you know, it's a brilliant finish. You know, don't take anything away from himself because he's playing that top corner. But if the goalkeeper stays on his side, he claims that easily. They're 0-0, and, you know, maybe Argentina are going to have a little bit of a wobble. But then the penalty, you know, it was a penalty left of the law. I'm wondering if you put your head down, you've got to expect that there could be some sort of contact. It was too physical, it catching, but shotting on mostly.
You know, this penalty that Martinez has stepped up for is the 7th penalty that Argentina have been awarded since the beginning of the 2022 World Cup. More than any other team. It kind of forces the electoral court.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that is it possible ways to put yourself as a forward, as a striker in a position where you would want to win a penalty for your team? Do you think there's that kind of motivation?
Yeah, I mean, you want to step up, you want to see your first goal for Argentina at the World Cup, and you want to get that confidence. Martinez does that beautifully, he sends the goalkeeper the other way. I mean, everything is in favor of Argentina. Ball possession, the goals, ball recovery, every single stat. But not all these stats are on top of what Messi said, the goalkeeper in that freaking, going the other way, only on. Nowadays, when you have your wall, you're benefiting at the edge of an 18-yard box. You have a player lying down on the wall, which means the wall can jump as high as they want.
Right.
And that side is like it's blocked for you.
What do you put me on the wall?
Exactly.
You see it?
It's just Argentina, the wall opened up, and well, that was another part. So look what it says. As it stands, Argentina finished with 9 points, so they topped the group. Austria and Algeria 4 points each. As it stands, Algeria qualify as one of the best third place teams to the round of 32, and guess which team has to drop out? It's Iran that doesn't make it.
We've seen the Republic drop out early, so now they're going to could go back in because if this goal had scored 2 minutes after this, and after they managed to get the first goal in 28 minutes, they had a golden opportunity 2 minutes later to make it 2-0. But you've got to have a bit of grit, you've got to have a bit of spirit and determination. And to be fair, that's exactly what Algeria has shown. This one's quite a feisty encounter, isn't it? We're giving them half an hour this one.
Here, they at the end of the earlier before the second post as well, which means they are attacking and looking for an equalizer, maybe a winner as well. And he gets the ball onto his left foot, and running and then stops the pass to the goalkeeper. And he was near post, maybe you can argue that the goalkeeper needs to say that, but it's close, it's powerful, and still go back to the net.
Well, with the draw, Austria anyways finishing ahead of Algeria, but Algeria cannot risk just the draw because if last minute they concede a goal, it could be Iran that's going towards the end.
The beauty of football is the absolute beauty of football. We're not going to find out who is going to qualify, and we're the last team to qualify until that final whistle is blown when Australia are taking on Algeria.
All eyes on Kansas, but at the same time, all eyes on Dallas as well, with Jordan are facing off against the defending champions Argentina. Are we going to see Lionel Messi come on in the second half? Let's head straight to the stadium and find out.
this why you pause? Stay with the moment and the moment stays with you. Say the pause. Black Dog Soda.
Love makes it go the distance. E6. Another electric SUV.
Oh, the British show on tour, the biggest ever seen on planet Earth. They do it over here. It's the only goal of the World Cup. That's a great one here.
Greatness begins here. Pura India Wachega. Live exclusive on Z5 app. Download the Z5 app now.
Lionel Messi pulls off the ultimate hat-trick. The only sound is one. The machine, Ronaldo is unleashed. The squad likes it from one goal to another. From El Artista Tango to Azima Gaza, Pura India Wachega. Live exclusive on Z5. Download the Z5 app now.
They've already done the impossible. Now they want more.
South Africa points. Really confident.
Canada. South Africa. One breakthrough. One heartbreak. The greatest people World Cup matchups ever. All here. Pura India Wachega. South Africa versus Canada. Live and exclusive on United Sports Network and Z5 app.
Well, there's going to be a couple of changes for John. And one is that perhaps the two players were left out and we were very surprised about, Andy, which is how Murray's back in, who's been involved in the other two games, and also the France-based Moussa Altamari, plays for Bareng, and has had probably the most outstanding career of this generation of Jordanian players away from the Middle Eastern countries. So they've gone for the experience having those two young men come off, Makori and Azaza. Argentina has to work. continuing what they hope is a real role. They've won their last 9 internationals by a score of 26 goals to 1. It's now 28 to 1 with another half to go to make it 10 in a row. And last were beaten in their final World Cup qualifier away to Ecuador and trained here themselves and produced that really dramatic win against Germany to ensure that they're part of the round of 32. It's good getting used to saying that round of 32, doesn't it?
Does indeed.
You ask everybody who are selections who they want to see. It is a team game, and you should always remember that. Here's Gracias. Confirmation this change team from the other 2 matches.
Yeah, lovely position for Skuad to be in. Argentinian coach. 2 goals up. And if it does go a little bit flat, then he can bring perhaps 1 or 2 of those more regular performers or starters just to liven it up a little bit. Whether it's Messi or not, we'll have to wait and see.
And some players, when they get advanced age, do less training. You get the feeling, although it's very specified for him, that he still does plenty here, Messi, to keep his sharpness. And half an hour or so in this game, probably just going to his left. Looking at the solitary figure up front at the moment. It's about concentration on their application for Argentina.
Yeah, because you don't want it to get untidy and go sloppy and which can happen to globally.
The first half goals combining.
Lovely ball, this one, Budaya, you can see there that Lautaro Martinez is just offside, a little step over to go around the goalkeeper, took him a little wide, he actually did really well to find himself so there. He was heavily marked and under pressure, just off.
Dangerous when you're in a comfortable position. Take too many touches.
Yeah.
And you keep the rhythm of the play that's got you the 2-goal lead. A lot of those collisions, if you like, in this tournament, where the referees have great play on. This coach not thinking that was one of those incidents. Yeah, so this angle probably is pushing that shoulder too far forward on one.
Yeah, I'm sure Lionel Messi going to set to his players, right, let's keep doing it right, make sure we do the right things. There's this offside call on Lautaro Martinez. Yeah, you can see there.
And again, compliments to this advanced system now, which makes it easier for the assistant referees and also avoids that potential of somebody crashing on into a goalkeeper. Well, that could have happened in that incident. And the call was not made. Martinez on the right here, appreciating the intention to get the ball early to him. Last one, a big party, isn't it? Yeah, there's been a lot of happiness in Dallas throughout. We've seen some very good football. That's a venue worthy of any World Cup. Wonders with the pitch. Or I should say the field here. There's Celso, isn't it? It's the two again. Two goal scorers. The counter up the third. That's what defending at the last.
Yeah. Great play, lovely interplay there. Really clever little ball from Celso. Every time, really good challenge.
Yeah, Madison. Free kick we looked at half time was a bit unlucky to be considered. This is Ali-1. The shooting positions. Antamari involved straight away. A bit more purpose to the play, certainly a lot more experience. Just holding out into the box.
Yeah, it was Otamendi actually who dived in, trying to pinch that. Ali-1 was away down the left hand side, he cut back, just the strike. It wasn't really what was required at that point from Antamari.
Confirmation of the table. If it stays like that, Austria and Algeria will go through. Thuram will be out. Still 2-0 here. In the early minutes of the second half, if you just joined us. Fico with the throw for Argentina. And they've changed the shirts, they've changed the team. They've not changed the scoreline. It's 2-0 here, of course. And they play against Austria. It's more of a collective in this game, although Lautaro Martinez and Gio Celso are turning into a double act at the moment. It's going to play on the right-hand side. That's Mali. Very good footballing team. They've produced a lot of players of their own. And it's been brought in. So it's lucky to get that back.
Was a little bit here, Paredes was under pressure and always liable to give that one away.
So Celso. Oh, still he wants more. Lautaro. And he can't blame him.
Nice strike, wasn't it? It's right over the top of the goalkeeper's head really, but it does just skim off the very top of the crossbar.
And the League Cup double with Inter over the European season that's just finished. Ali-1. There's a chance to be taken forward there. There's a crowd suggestion that there might be a change for Argentina.
Yeah.
Experience of Almani who's involved in the move as well. There's no offside.
What's the ball, Martin? Across the 6-yard box. What's a good ball as you've seen. delivered into an area. Nonton is onto it, and as much as Emi Martinez hurls himself to his right hand side, he just can't keep it up. It's a brilliant goal.
Well, they've scored in every game now, Jordan, which is a feather in their collective caps. Been on 10 minutes. And I guess first attempt on target. Ended up in the back of the net.
Like I mentioned about being positive and being brave and taking a risk, taking a chance, and a little one touch, just a glorious pass that was across that 6-yard box, and a lovely goal, really well worked.
And Argentina have conceded. Stepping into the second half of their third game. Seemingly triple change on Scaloni. Here's Rososo. Palacios. Austria have given hope to themselves, obviously, winning a game that's very strongly to second place, and of course it would be bad news for Algeria, good news for Iran. It's the last actions of the group phase. Going right to the wire in terms of who's going to play who in the round of 32. Sometimes when you just lose that air of domination, control of the game, it's hard to get it back at you.
Which is maybe why Lionel Messi is about to make 3 changes. 3 guys are stripped, below us ready to go, Lionel Messi and Alexis McAllister.
From the Jordanian players' point of view, that will be playing Argentina at the World Cup in 2026, and Messi wasn't playing well. That's not quite the same as Messi is playing, he's about to come in and play. It's Julian Alvarez. Sepak for the Celso. So he only starts to make it doubtful, it would have been offside. It's a real shit in the end. Nico Paz. And Celso is down, whether that will affect who goes on for who.
We might just have to wait a minute just to see how he is. You know, the Celso, they probably had in mind who they were going to change, but when you've got a guy down on the floor, you're just going to wait and see.
It's too early for the hydration break, so actually we've got to do it in real time. That's how it happened. There's the misconnect volley, Nico Paz. And the Celso was on his feet, suggesting that there should be some punishment for the challenge on him, like that. slightly, apart from Messi, adding, we know what he does, but this comes on a bit sturdier, I think. Still early, and scores a 2-1. This is Bola. There's Messi. And again. It's 2-2 in the other game. We had Mahrez talking about very left-footed players. Yes. That's Nigeria level again. Fighting for their place in the World Cup. Alistair. Messi. Not quite in a position to shoot. He's get it to the left-hand side. Tagliafico was waiting. It's an interesting situation, really. And of course, the combination of the substitutions. Whatever children do, they're going home. But they would really go home with an extra sense of pride if they could get a draw out of this. We've had a 2-2 here already. A thriller between Japan and the Netherlands. First game in the stadium in this World Cup. Confirmation again of that this league table jumping up and down, and none of the events in this stadium actually affecting it. Yes. McAllister. 2-2 just gone up on the big screen here. Paredes. Tagliafico. Just dropping in on the left-hand side with Messi.
He just gets past that challenge, Martin. He's hitting it. Still getting impetuous there. Never going to get there in time. Just get there and just get as high as you can. Jump in the challenges. Long into the box.
What do you think? What does everybody who's watching think? Through this. More something extreme power. He does combine this kind of power with brilliant placement. With the structure.
Yes. We'll let off that one.
Sort of a kiss. Somebody said yesterday he was very happy with the way the two games have gone. This is proving that the goal was not offside. Expertly. Good goal and always the way.
Brilliant goal, Martin. Beautifully put together, glorious inviting pass across the 6-yard line. It was really nicely finished. You know what, they're not out of this game, but 2-1, anything can still happen.
Minutes of the second half, eventful. The Yordania goal and the arrival of Messi and others. It's a perky player, Almada. A little taste of it in 2022. He's got his medal. Sure now.
It's interesting decision actually from Skuad to take off Lautaro Martinez. He's left Julian Alvarez out there. Just giving him more opportunities maybe, trying to hit the target.
Yes, and maybe another attacker motoring with the 10, with the number 10 on his back. Gracias. Just goes to show that there's nothing straightforward at this level of football. In fact, Argentina playing Cabo Verde in the next round tells you all you need to know about that. Be vigilant, venerable and vigilant.
Yeah, when he gets in those areas without Palacios in front of him, sometimes can be a bit vulnerable there.
Something should be said. Shades of love to choose from. B6, Rainbow series.
For the man of God. What happens when the game changes? You keep moving. You keep staying. Keep celebrating. And they keep talking. Because no matter how far you fell, you keep walking.
Well, the British show will turn the biggest MC operator. And you will have been here, and it's the only goal of the World Cup. That's a great one here.
Greatness begins here. Pura Video Llega, live and exclusive on Z5 app. Download the Z5 app now. Pura Video Llega, South Africa vs Canada. Tonight, 11:50 p.m. Live and exclusive on the United Sports Network and Z5 app. Pura India Llega, Netherlands vs Morocco. 30 June 5:30 a.m. Live and exclusive on the United Sports Network and Z5 app.
Something should be said.
That's 12 groups.
Yeah, you think there'll be more than that, wouldn't you?
So those who are still here, second and third place qualifiers, don't have their moments for that to be the case, that they've stopped the real form team of each group running away with each game. Well, we are going to see 21-year-old Valentin Clarko, who play left back, play centre midfield. It's his first involvement in the tournament. His fifth cap is on for Simeone. And he didn't play at all in the qualifiers, so a World Cup debut for the young man. Here's McAllister. Otamendi. Thinking when they wore those solid blue shirts 40 years ago against England in the World Cup quarter-final. Finished 2-1, didn't it though? Two very different goals from Diego Maradona. Maria Palacios. Here's McAllister. Now Barker. Messi. Nice Messi. Taliafico. Some of the tempo's gone out of the play though, maybe partly through the substitutions. And we think with Messi arriving at the lovely place.
I think with Armada, with McAllister on the ball now, with Messi coming on, they've got players out there now that will maybe just keep it a little better. I think that's part of Scaloni's good process now. Of course, you'd like to add to the couple that they've got and put the game to bed, but we'll also be thinking that if we just keep the ball a little tinier, a little neater, perhaps than they did towards the end of the first half, then we'll get over the line.
Had an attempt on target in the second half. This free kick was off target, of course, Messi's. Ended by Taliafico. That's of course the left back Medina, who the dummy by Almada that set up Messi's first goal. And attacking now in the game against Austria. It's Messi who throws it over this side. Also led by how
Great pressure. Certainly was the one who started that really good squeeze.
Messi trying to flop Leicester, he wasn't that far forward. And Marley gets it out to galloping again. Bola. Mali. It's surely a feel of confidence about Jordan. When we got the goal, you can understand why. We're standing tall. And gets the control and on the pathway to what would be a fantastic result.
Yeah, since going 2 down, Martin, the forward play has been much better. Much better. I would regret that perhaps they were a little more positive right from the get-go, but
I think if they picked Almadi and Tamari scored the goal, they picked those two from the start, and they were surprised that they didn't, Andy. I mean, they would be in most people's team preparing for the game, and certainly were in mine. Change for Jordan. Jonas. When we score a goal to become famous. this is he scored against Algeria, put them in front of that game. So the two will provide Jordan over this free kick. He's played for 14 clubs in 6 different countries. He's multi-experienced.
Ball in. Terrific delivery there.
Showing why he's been in demand. Might leave the back door open. Pressure to the super equaliser. Parker. Supported by Palacios. McAllister. The counter-attack was on, but they slowed it down and Jordan are back in defensive shape. With 15 minutes left. Senesi. Magnifico. That boys in blue with 1 or 2 additions now. The second half substitutions. Looks as though they have this game in their pockets, but it's not been that kind of World Cup. Despite those who doubted the depth of quality 48 nations could produce. Parker didn't connect as he should have done, really. So, long by Abu Taha. This is a very good humoured event. Just cooking it up here, Argentina. Budaya what to do. Lionel Messi can't quite get there. Here's Barco. Messi again. Challenged by Ramos. A new arrival.
Yeah, those players that they've got out there now, obviously including this man, really good playing in those tight areas. Kind of draws that, invites that challenge, looking like he's about to hit it. Of course, people are going to panic and dive in. That's exactly what happens. He goes to the ground, he gets the free kick. So the first one, Martin, you called it a bit of a sight, haven't you? It's a little closer, I would suggest, this one, to the last one, which would suit him a little bit more.
A little bit more central, maybe.
Yeah.
This might also suit him. Fase to go. Either for the extra wall set up. Celso has done it today. Lionel Messi match it. consecutive World Cup appearances. No one has ever done that before. It's another record. So he painted around 2 walls, in fact. Argentina's wall, and Jordan's attempted a wall, and with great respect to the Celso and Lautaro Martinez, who had special moments earlier in the game, there's only one thing we'll be talking about at the end of this. Argentina players are here in force, by the way. And I think they come to see Messi as much as anybody else. Yeah. And we don't give game time to elevate to play forward. And number 21, Jose Manuel Lopez. In Brazil for Palmeiras. He made his debut back in October.
I think Martinez, don't underestimate the importance of that third goal, which resettled the game today, once and for all. And also just the how Messi played for him exactly through the team. He's so crucial, he's so important to him. You know, I've seen the way that and how much he means to all of these Argentina fans that are in these stadiums. And I think that's part of that. He keeps answering those goals, he keeps coming in, they just believe even more. And they just pick this team up, they lift them. I think when the games go a little bit flat, so in lots of ways the coach has made a really wise decision there, it's paid off for him perfectly.
Successfully. So in his last 7 World Cup games, he scored doubles at the back end of the last tournament, in trebles, his first World Cup hat-trick, of course, in the first game in this group. Another double here against Austria. So a single is a bit of a disappointment for his stands, which only had a third of the game. It will only have a third of the game, and he's got time to add. It's euphoric, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Do you remember just what was this incident again? And I think there is the deck, and the capacity around the 70,000 mark for the way the stadium is designed for this tournament. A famous game, Argentina against England in St. Etienne, and David Beckham was sent off, and Julian Simeone's dad was involved in that. But they scored a wonderful free kick in that goal. Javier Zanetti, who we just saw sitting in the stand next to Cambiasso.
But he was so Martin.
He played 1,000 games.
Yes. He's bright, this young man, isn't he? Amada.
Yeah, he certainly is.
He seems one of those players that is a midfielder like Alexis McAllister. You love to have out there, wherever he is, under pressure, tightly marked, he doesn't care, he'll receive the ball and handle it.
Barker. Maybe a chance for Lopez to get first international goal. Messi passes to Lopez. That's a look at it. Tall man. Well, it's a game that in any other circumstances will be petering out. It's just the opposite in this stadium, isn't it? People don't want it to end, so because he is on, and he's taking the corner, and they worship in that temple. So then he's not first to punching people out of the ways, you know, sit back from that, easy takes, and here we go at it. Taha to the defending. Messi again. Aiming for it. It's McAllister's run towards the near post.
He's not the biggest, so it's McAllister, but he does that very well actually. From a couple of the other games where he makes those little runs into the near post.
So after two longish corners not working. Goes short. Incidentally, John conceding 3 of their 5 goals before today from corners, and now they conceded 2 free kicks and a penalty. Barker coming over on the blind side. And the defender. Just didn't see him coming with that.
Again, look at this young man as well, Martin, since he's come on, he's amongst the action right in the thick of it, and we're seeing him into his own box, but can show in and around the opposing 18-yard line. He's very dangerous.
The timing was set for the evening here. So the fire was lit again. And to bring on Salim Obeid, who's a substitute against Austria, and handled a shot from Arnautovic, and went to the penalty that Arnautovic scored. Lionel Messi, you've got a good left hand in your defenders. What would you do here?
Well, unfortunately, we just had a look at Abu looks like he's finishing the game, unfortunately, being carried off the field, but
Finishing the World Cup for him.
yes,
Right off the field.
he certainly give everything today he has, but that's a shame to see that.
Also coming on is Mohamed Abu Zaid, who's known as Sharara. He has a stage name. He's the joke of the pack. He leads the singing in the dressing room. And there's serious attention going on and the stretcher. It's always a sorry sight of the football ground. And let's hope it's precautionary.
Yeah, fingers crossed for them.
The next one's strapped together, which is one encouraging sign.
From where Messi is, Martin, if someone makes a run towards the near post, and he looks in there hard enough, so that'll give the goalkeeper something to really consider.
Towards that sort of area. Goalkeeper was committed, but not Another casualty, he's stayed down for a moment. He's a very experienced man, he's not had the best day today, has he?
No, he hasn't, unfortunately. I think he's got his bearings wrong a little bit a couple of times.
He's in all the qualifiers. And all against here. Paredes. Ticking over into Lopez. He did go up the fine on it. Formed this up, but some of that time was used in shooting the stricken player. I'm sure it's not about his shirt though. There's a chance here. So Jordan had the last word in their first World Cup. That's ticking away. Marco, who's limited, has a very, very sharp football brain. Quite extricate himself from that situation without concealing the corner.
Wood just knocked it down the line there. Barker wanted to try and keep it and wiggle his way out of trouble. In the end, this is the corner.
Well, it's virtually the last attack for Jordan. Will contribute to this game, will contribute to the tournament. They'll go home and play 3, lost 3. Never looked out of their depth. They've had to learn, they've certainly been a victim to the serious set pieces from their opponents. Highly handball by Amari. And it took a great man to come on. This is stadium, especially as all those who are watching the ball go behind them. Yeah, it's immaculate, of course. Great expectations, great achievements. When does he ever let you down? McAllister. There's a lot to do in this World Cup, but extra games to play, of course. The knockout rounds, the longer tournament in terms of, as much in terms of time, but in terms of action. Here's Amari, scrapping right to the end. Jamus, Altamari. And he goes back, and he's up, and he's left. Marco in trouble. Tells a story, Valentin Barco, about how he had a 400-mile round trip to training. He used to do that 3 or 4 times a week when he was a school kid. And obviously he had a dad with access to synthetic gasoline. And that was their goal for Algeria. And right at the end, scored 3-2. Mahrez has got another one. What a play that is. Something about those left-footed players who recognise the goal. It's Barco. Messi. And shots that particular list, and many others as well.
നിങ്ങൾ ഇരുന്ന കസേരകൾ അകത്തേക്ക് വൈദ്യുതിയായി അറിയിക്കുന്നു. നിങ്ങൾ ഇരുന്ന കസേരകൾ അകത്തേക്കൊണ്ട് സഹകരിക്കുന്നവരെ അറിയിക്കുന്നു. ഇന്നത്തെ കളി കാണാൻ എത്തിച്ചേർന്ന മാന്യ ഫുട്ബോൾ പ്രേമികൾക്ക് നന്ദി അറിയിക്കുന്നു.